My name is Hannah, and this is my beauty budget. Hey y'all, here we are, ready to look at all of my handbags and declutter them. Boy, it is hard to frame up a full-length shot. I was really hoping that I would be able to include footage like totally from head to toe in this video, but I feel like you're not gonna be able to see me unless I stand all the way back here. I'm not sure that that's like in our best interest. So hopefully you'll be able to get the gist of how each bag looks. I feel like maybe this is close enough to like see how it looks when it's on the body. And I'm just gonna barrel through because I've been trying to frame up this shot and get the lighting and everything for like 45 minutes, and it's time to start the video. I'm gonna give you a close-up. Actually, no, we're not in the meat of the video yet. What's happening? I just want to show you all my bags. I've gotten a ton of requests for this video, and I'm ready to declutter my handbags. I've been talking about this a bit lately in terms of reckoning with beauty products, but I'm excited to take some things that I'm either never going to use or not going to use anymore home to my family, especially my sister and my cousins, and see if they want to take them off my hands because I'm going to be visiting them over the holiday season. But some of these bags you have never seen and you've never seen me wear, so I feel like it'll be a fun video. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. Okay, so I went ahead and zoomed us in. I'm pretty far away from the camera right now because it's just zoomed in from that like full wide shot that I was getting before, and I'm just crouching down on the floor. But hopefully you'll be able to hear me and see everything pretty well. So let's just go through one by one. There are two sitting here on the floor out of frame. One is this backpack from, what's it from? American Apparel from like years and years and years ago. It was a Christmas present for my parents. It's kind of slouchy and falling apart. And I also have this from the McDowell Colony, which is an artist colony that I spent some time at years ago. And then these are the rest of them. These are like my nicer bags. So I've got these three little bags, one from Bano, one from Yale Blanco, this little guy. I don't even remember who makes this little pouch. I've had it forever. This vegan leather backpack from Goodness, New York. This is a Teddy Blake bag back here. This is my Polen Paris bag right here. This is from Zara, and this is another Teddy Blake bag, and that's it. So I'm gonna zoom you out again, and then we'll go through one by one. I'll wear each bag, and I'll talk about whether I'm gonna keep each bag one by one. I haven't actually made any of my final decisions yet, so I'm gonna be doing it in real time with you. So let's start with one that I'm absolutely positively sure I'm going to keep. There are actually two that I feel like you couldn't pry from my cold dead hands. And the one that is the newest to me is this Teddy Blake bucket bag. So you guys saw me talk about this recently in my video about new things that have impressed me, but I didn't really get a chance to like show it in that video. I did, I stood up and I showed it a little bit, but I feel like this is maybe like a better shot, or you can get a better sense of it. But if you watch my outfit of the day on Instagram stories, you'll have seen that I've been carrying this absolutely every single day. I love the way that it looks with an outfit, and it's so gigantically huge. It fits so much stuff. It fits my giant laptop, and equally as important to me, it's very aesthetic. I love the way it looks. It's super sturdy. It's been rained on, it's been spilled on, and it still looks absolutely brand new. This has quickly become probably my most useful bag, and also become one of my favorites in terms of how it looks and what it adds to an outfit. So this one isn't going anywhere. And then this is my other favorite of all favorites. This is my Polen Paris bag. And this is like the nicest bag that I have. It does have the tendency to get a little bit slouchy, so I keep it stuffed with the like bags, cloth bags that you're supposed to store handbags inside of, but I like storing them out here on this shelf. I know it's like squashed between the refrigerator and my clothes, and it's a little weird, but we live in an open concept loft, and we're just making do with what we have. I'm sorry I'm talking so flubbily today. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm just tired and my brain is like all over the place, so forgive me. I'm usually more articulate than this, but I've been like blah, 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 blah. This was a gift from my sister that made me cry and cry. I love the two finishes. It's got like suede here, and it's got pebbled leather on the rest of it. It's actually got three finishes because then there's like a non-pebbled leather for this little close tab. It can hold quite a bit if you want it to, because you can like snap it open like this, and you can fit, when I had a smaller laptop, I used to be able to fit it inside here, but I tend not to stuff it full of stuff. I tend to carry it when I'm going like I don't know, like out for a day with friends or like out to dinner, but I don't want to take something tiny, or up until recently I haven't really had something tiny that worked. And it looks so good. It looks so good with a coat. It looks so good with like a dress. It's versatile, and it never doesn't look incredibly chic and pretty. And I do like carrying it by its little handle, either carrying it like over my wrist like this. Goodness gracious, that is how my life is going right now. You know, I'll carry it like this if I want it to be more secure, like if I'm worried I'm in a place where someone might try to grab it. I'll carry it with its little strap in my hand and carry it by its little hook, like if I'm at a convention or something. But sometimes if I'm walking down the street, I'll wrap the long strap around my wrist a couple times and then carry it by its little hook. And then I can get this look of it just being like a little handheld bag without being afraid that someone's gonna snatch it from me. Because if someone were to grab it out of my hands in downtown Los Angeles, like I'm not like hyper paranoid, but sometimes, often when I'm walking through the streets of downtown Los Angeles, but then I just know that no one could like grab it from me, and yet I can still have this like casual, light way of holding it. But it also looks gorgeous as a crossbody. I'm not trying to say that I don't like wearing it that way. I like the soft, round shape. I find the size to be very convenient. I feel like this is the only bag that I need of this size. I'm not a minimalist. I mean, we all know I'm not like a dyed-in-the-wool minimalist, but I have enough of a minimal bent to only want to carry this bag every single time I need a bag this size, rather than having like multiples of bags that serve the same purpose. It also has this little slidey pocket in the back. It has a couple little pockets inside. I don't really know what more there is to say. It's just a stunning bag all around, and I'm really impressed by Polène. I did get many requests to do like a close-up overhead shot detailed video about this bag where I like open it and show all of its little compartments, and maybe even show how it's worn over time, because it has gotten a little bit of color on the back where it's rubbed against my clothes, and it has changed in terms of how it sits on the shelf over time. It's slouched forward a little bit. That's part of why I keep it stuffed. I don't know if too much time has passed. Let me know down below if you would want to see like a dedicated video about this bag, because there aren't very many of them out there. I remember when I was thinking about I was actually thinking about buying this for myself. I was thinking about saving up for it, and when I was researching it, it was kind of hard for me to find detailed reviews of it. So if there's enough interest, I'd be happy to do that because I'm a big fan. So let's go ahead and talk about the bag that I'm not going to be keeping, because I feel like the Polène bag has usurped it. And every time I would reach for this bag, I always reach for that bag. So this is the Teddy Blake Bella bag, and it's the Bella that's in the smaller size. It also has some stuff stuffed inside of it. And you can see that it's not the same shape, it's not the same effect, but it is structurally similar. Like it does similar things. So it has this handle, this top handle situation, and I have carried this one similarly in that I'll like wrap the long strap around my arms, and then I'll carry around my wrist, and then I'll carry it by its top handles. It does look beautiful, and it is a very sleek bag. The fact that it's black and then it's this beautiful shape, it is very sleek, and I'm not saying it's the same as the Polène one. It's definitely different in terms of like what it offers to an outfit and what it does. It's just that I know myself well enough to know that I'm happy just to have the one, and just to commit to always carrying that bag, the orange one, the Polène one, whenever I need a bag this size. Also, because I haven't carried this very much, it's in gorgeous condition, and I will feel amazing about giving this away to someone when I go home for Christmas. One of its best features is it's got, sorry, I don't know why there's like earplugs in here. Like, why are there earplugs just in this bag that's sitting on a shelf? It's supposed to be empty. What is my life? It's got this gorgeous red suede interior, which is really amazing. It's got zippers on both sides of the flap, so they're like little zipped pockets you can zip things into. It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. There's nothing wrong with it except for the fact that I feel like I have too many bags right now. And to be honest, I love a bag. I love like an editorial or unusual bag enough to consider collecting a couple more. And so I'm sort of thinking about making room in my collection for some super distinctive bags, like ones I might want to save for, just like really, really strange, special shapes and colors and textures. And again, because this one is so visually functional, like it will work for so many people, and because I have another bag that serves the same purpose, And because it's in such good condition, I feel really happy about giving this away to a family member to make room for a bag that's a little more me in my collection. Here is another bag. Sorry, I said I was going to do the ones that I'm absolutely sure I'm keeping, but then I skipped that Teddy Blake one before this one. So I just won this in a raffle at a party on Thursday, just a couple of days ago when I'm filming this. And I never win stuff like that, like ticketed raffles. Never, ever, ever. I've never been in a crowd like looking at my tickets, hearing them call the numbers and had them call my number and be like, you won. Like that's never happened to me. And I feel so fortunate that it happened with this bag because I am in love with it. I couldn't believe that it was being raffled off at this party. So it's by this brand, Bano. I will link them down below. I have these two little bags that are sort of the same size as this, but neither one is as functional as this. And so I kind of feel like there was a hole in my handbag collection that I was thinking that those filled, but when I got this and I started using it, which I've used it for the past 2 days since I won it in the giveaway thingy, I realized that I actually didn't have a bag that served the function that this one serves. So it is also really cute. You can hold it by its little handles like this. It's like the kind of bag where the only thing really in here is your phone and maybe like your driver's license and some cash. It's like that kind of bag. It's a mini of a larger bag that they have. I think it's called the Tilda, and there's like a larger version, and then there's this little version, and I just love this silver finish. I just love it. I love it. And I have to be, I mean, of course, I think you guys can probably tell, but there is something of like the excitement of the new going on. Like I just won this in a raffle. It was so fortunate, and I feel like undying love for it because it's new and it's so special and it fills a hole in my collection. So there's that going on too. Like we'll check back in a couple of months and see how it's going between me and the silver mini Tilda. But I can't imagine that I'll like start to dislike it or something because it's very, very me. So I'm reading from the Bano website because they make beautiful bags, but they also have an intense focus on ethics. So on the page where it talks about their ethical philosophy, it says, our mission is to redefine and bring sharp awareness to sustainability and ethics to fashion. We are setting a new standard for manufacturing for the global garment trade that revolutionizes the way garment workers and artisans are treated, viewed, and employed. Our aim is to become part of a global mission that inspires change, improves factory conditions, quality of life, safety of individuals in developing countries by working with international factories that adhere to rigid compliances. So this is a company that's putting a huge premium on ethical manufacturing and ethical sourcing. It's like a major part of their mission. It's a major part of their identity as a company. And I love it. I'm basically in search these days of companies that define themselves that way and happen to make incredibly stunningly beautiful goods. So I feel like Bano is worth having on one's radar, and I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon that I'm getting the chance to actually test and review one of their bags because I knew about them. I had only ever dreamed of like having a bag because they're pricey. And I think that part of why they're pricey is that they are so rigid in terms of ethics. They're making sure everyone is fairly paid. They're making sure only to use materials that were ethically sourced. And so that's reflected in the price. And I would be fine with that. It would have, like as a buyer, like if I had to save up, if I had really decided I wanted this and I had to save up for it, I would have been totally fine with that. I'm willing to pay for that. It just would have been like a big commitment for me because I think it's like in the $400 or $500 range, even this small bag. So it's pretty special. I'm feeling really, really lucky these days because of this bag, and it's making me feel like I can part with, I think maybe both of these. I think I can actually part with both of these. So this is a little pouch that I've had for ages. I'm gonna put this one down for a second. This is a little pouch that I've had for ages and ages. It's like a hair on hide material. I think I got it on super sale at Anthropologie like 5 years ago or something. And it does have a strap. It's like this double zippered pouch situation where it's got space in the middle, but then it's got like a zippered pouch on one side and a zippered pouch on the other. And I have used it maybe like 50% of the time with the strap and 50% of the time without the strap. And it served me well for a long time because for a long time, it was the only thing that I had that was like this. And when I had my beautiful bifold wallet stolen during my no-buy year, this was what I used as a wallet for the rest of the year. So that was why I had unhooked the straps, and it drove me crazy after a while because all my cards were loose in there and swimming around, and I wasn't, because I had it and it was functional. It wasn't ideal, but it was functional. So by my no-buy rules, I wasn't allowed to buy a new like wallet. I had to keep using this until the end of the year. I do feel a bit weary of it, I think, because of that, and it is very worn out. I don't know if you can tell from there, but it's like really fuzzy and really sort of beat up. So I think I'm ready to let it go. I think that anything that this would be useful for, I can use the silver handbag for. And even though this is so much more casual, so much less ostentatious, it's fine with me to only have that silver bag as an option because it's just my style. Like I'll always be fine with carrying that silver bag with any outfit to any event. I'll never feel like it's too much or like it's out of place or like it's, I think I actually historically have been known to carry like an evening bag style bag, like a little beaded clutch or something as my daily bag, as my daily crossbody. So it fits with my style, and I feel like having that means that this one can go. This one is a little bit harder of a decision. This one was sent to me as PR towards the beginning of this year by this brand Miele Blanco, and they make vegan leather goods. So this isn't real leather. It's a little vegan leather handheld bag. It does have a strap. I think it's in here. Yeah, it does have a strap, and I've never used it with a strap, and I've barely used it at all. I don't know why. I feel like, so here's the reason that it's a hard decision. It's because I remember why I've never used the strap. It's because it's kind of awkward. So the strap straps like in where it's like pinched in, and I just find that a little bit awkward. It's like it's almost like it's not quite balanced, although I guess in practice it would be fine. I just feel like I haven't carried the bag enough to find out what it's like to carry it, and it's been almost a year and I feel like I'm never going to. Like I feel like there's something about its shape, the way that it holds itself, its structure, that turns me off a little bit from reaching for it. It's also a little bit hard to get into because this lucite plasticky thing is totally rigid, and it comes around and it goes in. So when you open it like this, you only have access to what's in there between the bottom points of this arc. And so it's hard. Like you can reach in the side. I keep saying all of these things about it and then sort of thinking that maybe I haven't given it enough of a chance. But again, like anything to which I would carry this, any event, any outfit, anything, the one from Beno would be better for me. Like I would just rather. They do similar things. This one's so much easier to get into, and it's the same to me. Like they fill the same hole, they serve the same purpose, and I feel like I'm gonna be reaching for this one every single time over this one. The thing that makes it hard to let go of is that I'm a huge fan of this design element, this hard plastic handle, and it looks really good sitting on my shelf with the other bags. Like it adds a really beautiful, distinctive aspect to my handbag collection. When you look at them all, you see it sitting there with this beautiful shape, and it's just like, wow, whoever owns these handbags is so avant-garde. She really has good taste. Look at that olive bag with that archy hand. Like, and so there's this part of my identity that's like wants to keep it just for vanity's sake, just for like the way it looks as an item of home decor. And when Simbri was here the other day, I was telling her that I was going to declutter my handbags, and I was like, I think that this one's on the chopping block, and she was like, no, you can't get rid of that one. It looks so good sitting there. And I was like, I know it looks so good sitting there, but I never use it. I never use it, and I'm never going to use it again. And if I just lived in a vacuum and all that mattered was like how pretty my handbag collection looked sitting there, then yeah, maybe I would keep it. But I don't. I have these two beautiful young cousins who are in high school and college, and they will probably get a ton of use out of this bag. So I'm going to give it to one of them. I'm going to see if either one of them wants it or if my sister wants it, and I'm going to let its coolness light up their lives in both a beautiful and a functional way. And that will make room for me to, at some point in my future, collect a handbag that has maybe a similar design element, but that is one that actually works better with me and that I'll actually end up using. So back here in the back, we have one of my most used functional bags ever. It is from Zara. ages ago. Like I purchased this years ago when I was still in graduate school. And it's nice because its shape is like that of a briefcase almost. It's like a computer bag, but then it's got this slouchiness to it, and it's embossed with like a croc print on the front, although not on the back, and it's a deep shiny navy blue. And I just really like this for professional occasions. So if I ever need to like go to a meeting and I want to have like my laptop and some papers and I want it to look relatively professional, like I can carry my laptop and some papers in that red Teddy Blake bucket bag, but there are certain occasions, certain events for which I would rather take this because it just looks a little bit more professional, even though it's still slouchy and chic and it looks kind of like magazine editor professional rather than like lawyer, doctor professional. It's like professional for me. And so I am going to hang on to this until the day when I like acquire like an even more professional tote, which is something I'm kind of in the market for, like a sleeker, simpler, more professional, maybe like a black tote or something. I might be on the lookout for something like that in 2020, but for the time being, I'm going to hang on to this one because I know that there are times, few and far between, but there are times when this is the only bag that I have that will suit. And then I actually feel like I'm going to keep all three of the rest of these. So I'm just going to bust through them really quick. It's probably not the most minimalist decision to keep both of these backpacks, but this one from Goodness, New York, the vegan leather tote, is very new to me, and I found it to be incredibly functional and also really cute. So it might be something that I one day give away, but for the time being, I still feel like attached to it, and I still feel like I'm getting good use out of it. I need to keep holding that between my legs. What am I doing up here? And then this one, I think like the really, if I were doing it right, I would part with this one because this is really old. You can see its age. Like I can especially see it in person. It has no shape. It's really soft and floppy. The zippers are kind of worn out and all the zipper pulls have fallen off and it's kind of smelly and like crummy on the inside. You know what I mean? Like it's been around. Like I've used it so much. It's probably at this point my most used bag. I still think it's really special and I still think that there's something really aesthetic about it. It's like a really deep aubergine leather backpack that's like python embossed. I still reach for it. There are times that I still reach for it. I think I might add some zipper pulls back to it, like find something to replenish the zipper pulls with, and then keep going with it for a while. I now have these two backpacks, so it's kind of like, Hannah, do you need both of them? I think what's going on is that I'm not sure which one is going to be the one that's on the chopping block. I'm not sure if this one's going to be retired or this one's going to be passed on. For now, I enjoy having both of them, and I'm going to keep experimenting. It's like they're both still in a purgatory box, if that makes sense, since I have two. So this declutter just isn't the occasion on which I'm ready to make that decision, so I'm going to go ahead and keep both of those. And then this is my one canvas tote, and it has sentimental value. I got it when I was at the McDowell colony, and I only have one. As someone who's like in the academic world and the literary world, canvas totes like this flood into one's life, and I've had a flood of them over the course of the past several years, and some of them have been repurposed as grocery totes, but most of them I've given away. So I just felt like it was worth, even though this isn't really a handbag, it's just like a book tote, it's a canvas book tote. I felt like it was worth bringing up in this video because it's my only canvas book tote. I just have one. I've chosen the one that I want to keep forever, and every time I need a canvas book tote like this, this is the one that I carry. So I wanted to show you guys that. It's not like particularly stylish, it's just a canvas book tote, but it's worth talking about like these categories of things that we like often get for free and they can start overwhelming our lives. And I don't want to live anymore with like 5 random canvas book totes over the doorknob of the closet. And it's like every time you open it, they fall off, but it's like you can't bring yourself to get rid of them because they're all from events that you went to and you got them for free and maybe they'll be useful someday, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of category of thing that I like to just choose one and then just part with all of the rest of them. So that's what I've chosen to do in this case. This stays hanging over the hook. Joe and I each have like a hook, a coat hook next to the front door. This is permanently on my coat hook, and so is this leather backpack. Those live there, so they're not gonna live on my shelf. I think that this, it doesn't stand up straight. It doesn't like, it doesn't do much for itself, just like sitting there on the shelf. it's better hung. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and hang this on one of the hooks right there that you see that green silk dress is hanging from a hook behind my lamp and behind my clothing rack. I'm gonna hang this up there and it's gonna live there. And then that's it. This is it, right? Yeah. And so in terms of what's on this shelf, I'm down to 4. And you can really see my preference for orangey red and like coral as a pop of color on a handbag and an outfit, because all 3 of these bags, the bigger ones, the more practical ones, are all shades of red and orange. And then that silver one is holding down the fort as the small bag, as like the fancy party bag, etc., etc. Isn't that wild? I'm gonna give you a close-up. So this is gonna be my handbag shelf now. And I do feel kind of an instinct to add maybe one more, like a bag that's in between the size of this small one and the next size up, which is this one, and maybe one that adds a little bit more color or dimension, maybe something black and shiny or croc print or something like that. Maybe something even smaller than the Bano one that's also very editorial, something like that. I like thinking about what I might add to this, because I do think of it as like an artistic collection that I enjoy curating. But in terms of taking it down to its bare bones of 4 very beautiful bags, and then I have the other 3 that are very practical and a little bit more slouchy that are hanging on hooks around the house, down to 7 bags. And that's my handbag collection. I didn't quite know how this was going to turn out. I didn't quite know that I was going to be willing to part with all of those bags. I definitely hadn't thought it through enough and visualized it enough to know that I was going to end up with like all orange bags on the shelf. It's pretty wild to me, but I'm here for it, and now I know not to buy any more orange bags, because whenever I look at bags online, I'm like, I love the orange one, or like I love the red one. I'm always like drawn to that color for bags for some reason. But this is good. It's helped me like see myself, and it's helped me clarify that I don't need any more bags in this color range. I can like move on to maybe thinking about diversity in that realm. But also maybe I won't get any more bags in 2020. I definitely don't need more. Like I have more than what one person needs, and I definitely have enough to satisfy all of the different kinds of like situations I might be in, and outfits I might wear, etc., etc. I feel like this video has been a bit awkward to film. I don't know how the framing is gonna go. I don't know if you'll have been able to see and hear clearly. So forgive me if it's a mess in one way or another, if like the lighting is really bad, or if like I look really bad, or I wonder if like this sweater is too see-through to be wearing under such bright lights. There's something like super awkward going on. Live and learn, right? Like I'm starting to try to branch out into this kind of content, but it's a whole other bag of worms. Bag of worms. It's a whole other can of monkeys. It's a whole other barrel of snakes trying to set up to film in this setting, and set up to film so you can like see my whole body, or like see my shoes, and see also my hair, and hear me and see my shelf, and see like my refrigerator for some reason today. But we're just going with it. But that is it. That's it. We've gone with it. It's not that we're going with it, it's that we went with it, and the video's over by now. Let me know what you think of my not minimalist, but rather minimal, I feel, handbag collection. How many bags do you guys have when you count them all up, including like your canvas book totes and stuff? And I'd also love to know which one is your favorite of the ones that I kept. And if you were gonna like add one more thing to my collection, like what's missing? Like if you're looking at my collection of 7 bags and you're like, oh my gosh, how can you live without X? What's that X? I'm really curious. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work.